So this week, we are going to take a break from the very heavy personal finance theme focused content that I've been creating in the past 2 weeks, because as important as money and personal finance is, it's not the end-all be-all. And there are also other important messages and areas of this FIRE journey of mine that I wish to share, such as the personal growth journey, things that I've learned after achieving FIRE, and some of the important messages of simple living, living within your means, consuming less, appreciating the simpler things in life. I think those are all very important messages that I wish to share on this channel as well. So this week, we're gonna talk about some of those. And the part 3 to the Leaving the Rat Race series will resume next week, where I wanna talk about the formula to achieve financial freedom, which is based on the FIRE movement and analyzing my path to financial freedom and what the elements and ingredients are that took place. And I also wanna walk you through the FIRE calculator that I created on simplyfreely.com. So I really don't know how this vlog is gonna turn out because I haven't really thought this through. But I just don't want to turn this channel into a strictly personal finance or strictly educational focused kind of channel. Because I think especially with the rise of AI, it's so easy to find all the information that I talk about here. Super easy. So what makes this channel and the stuff that I share unique is in a sense that I don't think AI is at the point where it can simulate a life after FIRE yet. So that's why I think a lot of the stories that I share are things that you might want to know about if you're trying to achieve FIRE, or you want to live a simple, peaceful life, or whatever other reasons you might watch my content. But one of the things that I observed about the FIRE community, which I'm also guilty of, but I mean, it's not something that's strictly limited to the FIRE community as well. I observe this humanly behavior in a lot of people too. Is that somehow we tend to feel that when we get to a destination, then we'll be happy. When we reach a certain goal, like a FIRE number, then we'll be happy and then life would be good. I think in certain aspects, it does improve your life, but it certainly doesn't mean that all your problems in life would go away, if that makes sense. I always rinse the blade immediately after I use it, because if I leave it for a little while, it becomes so hard to clean and dry it up. Tiny actions makes a big difference. So one of the things that I've learned after reaching FIRE is that no matter how hard you plan or try to plan, life would change. And this is especially true in the FIRE community, because the way FIRE works is that you would try to predict how much your expenses will be during the lifespan of your early retirement. And then you try to save a portfolio that can cover that with a certain amount of percent. So one of the things that I would never, ever have guessed when I was planning for my FIRE is that I would meet my partner who lives in a totally different country in the Netherlands, where the tax system there is very different. And from my research so far, it is one of the least FIRE-friendly countries on earth. north. So originally when we met, we talked about him moving to Canada. However, now the goal is for me to move to the Netherlands instead. And this really put a curveball to my fire plan because the Netherlands tax system does not recognize a lot of the tax advantageous accounts in Canada, such as TFSA. And I'm still trying to figure out the RRSP side of things. So in another sense, by moving to the Netherlands, I would lose the ability to compound my portfolio in a tax sheltered, tax deferred manner. So this is something that I'm trying to figure out right now. I think I have a game plan, but I'm just sorting out a few more things and trying to get some answers from their tax authorities. But so far they haven't replied. Maybe in the future, I'll make some content on that. I think it's an interesting thing to talk about, like moving out of Canada. How does fire work in a country that has a totally different tax system? So yeah, these are some of the things that I don't think anyone can foresee planning for fire. So that's why it's important to not see any goals or destination, especially a fire number, reaching fire as like the end all be all to everything. Because chances are life changes so rapidly that you have to constantly adapt. So that's why I think it's so important to find the balance in whatever you're doing in life and try to enjoy the journey as much as you can. So this week I have been working a lot on simplyfreely.com. Right now I'm really just trying to find a balance between coding simplyfreely.com and then making content on YouTube, as well as going to the gym more consistently. And then at the back of my head, I feel so guilty for not studying or practicing my Dutch. It's been a while actually. Maar ik denk dat mijn Nederlands heb beter geworden van deze keer naar Nederland. I hope I said that right. Had to think. Yeah, I think my vocabulary has gotten better. Maybe from like exposed to the culture and the language, but I seriously need to work on my grammar. Grammar is the hard part. Dus ik moet meer geoefenen. Nee, ik moet meer oefenen. Yeah, I think that's correct. So going back to juggling between YouTube and simplyfreely.com, the most difficult part for me has always been context switching. When it comes to coding, I feel like I have very limited RAM in my head. So whenever I context switch out and back in, or vice versa, I need to load the program into my head and think through all the logic so that I can write any type of code. But don't get me wrong, I love all the things that I'm doing right now. I'm really finding fulfillment. I feel like YouTube is challenging me to grow as a person in ways that I don't talk about much on here, I guess. I'm really using this platform to challenge myself. And as for simplyfreely.com, I really enjoy coding. Even though I quit tech, I've always had a side project of some sort and I've never stopped coding. I just can't deal with the politics and BS in the tech industry, but coding is still a part of me. So here we are. So this week I got a lot done on the non-financial aspect on simplyfreely.com. This is actually my third attempt to have a website to share my simple living lifestyle ideas. And all the previous times, it was just using an existing blog platform like WordPress or Ghost and never really hit the spot. But this time, I'm really enjoying this process of coding. As much as sometimes I wish I can just get everything that's in my head, all the ideas and all the tools and calculators finished so I can focus on talking about it on YouTube, a part of me really enjoyed this process process of coding. So I kind of wish it doesn't stop, and I guess it wouldn't stop because now everything is from scratch and I get full control over how data is being passed or saved and how pages are working. So this week I actually created a recipe section because that's part of the simple living side of Simply Freely. Because much like the messaging of this channel, I don't want this website to be only personal finance. I think personal finance and the FIRE movement is a tool and a tool only. And I think it's the growth journey that's the most important part. Money, capitalism, and all this stuff is just a tool to hopefully help us grow as a person and not to buy more things. So this new recipe section, if you've been watching my videos, you know how much I like to cook. Having this section on simplyfreely.com allows me to share these recipes in a non-mainstream way. You know how when you go online and look for recipes, you have to like scroll all the way down through ads and through like historical biographies of a certain ingredient and the history of this item you're trying to cook, and you're just like, just give me the time, the ingredients, and the instruction, please. So that's the intention with the recipes of simplyfreely.com. It's just simple to the point recipes.